Can everyone see me and hear me? Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me and hear me. Awesome. Somebody also say, it's my time in the chat. It's my time.
Recording in progress.
Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. I see my people in the room. Hey, y'all. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here tonight because it's Sunday evening. I know there's a million things you could be doing, but you chose to be here in this room with me, and that already tells me something about you. It tells me you're not okay with just getting by. It tells me you want more. And it tells me you're ready to start making different decisions when it comes to your future. Now, if there's anyone in the room that doesn't know me, I think most of you do. My name is Cedra Adams. I'm a registered nurse, and I am now also a newly licensed financial professional. And since the beginning of this year, I've not only changed my own financial trajectory, but I've started helping other people do the same. But before any of this, I was someone doing everything quote unquote right. Working hard, picking up a PRN job or 2 or 3, following the path that we were told was safe, but still realizing if something were to happen to me, my family would be left trying to figure it out. And that just didn't sit right with me. And honestly, this is where things became real for me, because it's one thing to think about it, but it's another thing when you start thinking about the people that you love. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see this picture? Okay. So this picture is of my babies. They are my Y. I have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 5-year-old. They are the reason for everything that I do. Every decision I make is for them. And there's no situation where I'm okay with them being left struggling, confused, or unprotected if something were to happen to me. Now, and this is a picture of me and my best friend, Devin. So we've been friends since the 6th grade. I'm 39 years old now, so you do the math. That's at least 30 years of friendship. And she's someone that I talk to every day. She's the god mom to my kids. If you remember Ayanla, Fix My Life, I used to call her my Ayanla because she had wise words for any situation. She was the peacemaker. She's kept me out of jail a few times. She was just the rock of the friendship. She was the rock. And then this picture here is me holding her hand in her hospital bed as we waited to get the call that she took her last breath. She had been battling lupus for probably the last decade or so, and she had moments where her lupus would flare and she wouldn't feel good, but we never really thought that we wouldn't grow old together. We were supposed to be the Golden Girls. She was Dorothy, I was Sophia. We had plans of traveling to Europe for our 40th and all these things. Well, this last time she got sick, she went into the hospital on a Wednesday. By the end of that night, she was on a ventilator. By Sunday, she was on hospice. So, as a nurse, I've experienced life and death up close. I've seen things change quickly for families. I haven't had it really happen with someone so close to me. So she inspired me in life, and she has inspired me in her death as well. So she passed June of 2025, and at the new year, 2026, I decided I'm living life to the fullest. For her, I'm gonna live each day like it's my last. Anything new or anything that I see that I want to try, I'm gonna do it. So that's what led me to Nurse Lois. And I saw what she was doing, and I was like, I don't really know quite what she's doing, but I'm in. And I just jumped into it. And I've learned so much since January. And as a newly licensed financial professional, I've learned that nobody ever really taught us how to build wealth, how to protect it, or how to make sure our families are actually taken care of. We were taught how to work, but not how to make money work for us. And that's exactly why we're here tonight. This isn't just another webinar. This is a conversation that can literally shift how you think about money, protection, and your future moving forward. So now's the time to lock in. No distractions, because what you hear tonight can literally change everything if you actually apply it. Before I bring our first speaker up, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the two that are going to be on the call with me. The level of power that they both possess, like, y'all don't understand. Getting these two individuals in the same space is like epic. It's not normal. So you're in for a treat. I brought the big guns. Between the two of them, they've built 7-figure agencies. They've changed so many agents' lives. They've helped countless families get protected. But beyond the success, what really stands out is their heart for people. So to have them, both of them, pouring into us tonight, I'm telling you right now, if you're paying attention, you will not leave this call the same. And with that being said, I want to introduce our first speaker, which is Mike. I'm really excited that he's here. He represents what's possible when you stop thinking small and actually learn how money works. He's built a 7-figure agency, and he's played a major role in changing countless agents' lives. But beyond the numbers, what really stands out is his leadership. So whether you're brand new to this or you've been trying to figure out your next move, you're about to hear from someone who is actually doing it at a high level. So please go ahead, drop some fire in the chat. Help me welcome Mike, True Wealth co-founder and CEO.
This is Adam. Thank you so much for. Can you guys hear me? Put a 7-7 in the chat if you guys can hear me loud and clear. It's good to see you, Kevin, Michelle, Mrs. Bundy, Miss Kirsten, Aaron, Sis Lois, Mrs. Imani. But I'll first say this, Miss Adams, it's a pleasure to be on this call with you. And I'm so excited for you. It takes a lot of strength to do a call like this, especially on a Sunday evening. You know, everyone could be, you know, hanging out. I was watching the Masters earlier. I like to watch golf here and there. But Miss Adams, you know, it's a lot of strength for you as a new agent in the financial services industry to host a call like this to spread awareness about the power of insurance and the power of building wealth. So can we just give a big love in the chat for Miss Adams, because once again, this is an absolute amazing call, and you did a great job by hosting the call and inviting all these beautiful people to come on the call tonight. So I was tasked to talk about myself and insurance and wealth management and why insurance, but you know, I'll be remiss if I did not go into back in 2021. I got a call about, I think it was back in 2021 September. It was an early Tuesday morning. I got a call from a lady, and she said, "Hey, Michael," and I said, "Hey." And usually I'm the kind of guy where I save everyone's numbers in my phone. But this lady, for something, who can relate? You answer our call when you don't know who it is, but you just answer because like you just want to answer the phone. Who can relate to that? So I answered the call on a Tuesday morning, and she said, "Hey, Michael." I said, "Hey." She said, "I'm so glad I can reach you." I said, "Yeah, I'm glad you can reach me too. You don't answer calls I don't recognize." And she said, "My mother passed away." And I said, "Who's your mother?" And she said, "My mother is Miss Janice." Miss Janice was a very sweet lady that I helped out with insurance back in 2020. And she said, "My mother passed away. I don't know what to do. I have 2 boys. I'm distraught. I don't know if my mom had insurance or not. I don't know what to do. The funeral home wants me to pay $10,000 out of pocket tomorrow, and I just do not know what to do." And I said, "Hey, no worries. Look in our database. Ms. Janice did have an insurance policy that she took out, and I was an agent on file for the policy." 2 weeks later, the insurance policy pays out. It pays out about $15,000. So she had enough to pay for the funeral for $10,000. But the reason why the story really hit home to me is that the extra $5,000 she had after the policy paid out, she was able to put a down payment on a car. She said, "Mike, you don't understand, for the last 5 years, I had to take 3 buses to take my kids to school, and I had to take a bus back home from work, and then pick them back up from school again. But now this insurance policy that my mom took out on me," and I knew my mom, she was on a fixed income with Social Security. I knew that every dollar she spent on the policy was something that she didn't even have, but she thought about me. So I share that story because the fact that a mother made a decision knowing that she didn't really have much money to buy this policy, but she did it, and years later, this policy paid out to her daughter, paid for the mother's funeral, and that extra $5,000 went to put a down payment on the car. And now this mother that has 2 boys can stop taking the bus back and forth from work and to take them to school. And when that happened back in 2021, I realized that what we do as financial services reps is bigger than the money. It's bigger than just the policy. We're literally building wealth, and we're making sure that day was going to happen. The only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes now. But that day that everyone knows is going to happen, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So I am the CEO of True Wealth Financial. I have sold over, I have helped over 2,000 family life insurance needs. I think last year our insurance agency did over 7,000 policies sold. We're so happy and grateful to have Miss Adams joining our family here. She's a great fit for our agency. And the reason why she's a great fit for our agency because she has a servitude mindset like Christ had. She's looking to always put the clients first and put the client in the best position that fits their needs. So I would love to have some engagement in the chat. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. So who in here has insurance, life insurance? You can put a 7 in the chat. You can put a fire emoji in the chat. There's some different emojis now. You put your favorite emoji in the chat. Who here has life insurance? Put your favorite emoji in the chat. All right, Aaron, you can put your favorite one. It could be the whale emoji. It could be the running emoji. It could be the yellow heart emoji. It could be the Sprite emoji. Who in here has life insurance? All right, I see Miss Adam has it. Aaron has life insurance. Miss King, I love that emoji, Miss King. That's a good one. That's one of my favorite ones too. Okay, good. So now, real quick, Miss King. The bear. Was that a bear? Gorilla? I don't know what that is. It's a gorilla. All right. Now, put in the chat real quick. Y'all doing good now. So you guys got favorite emojis. Who in here wants to explain real quick why you have life insurance? Put in the chat. Sabrina, Miss King, Miss Kirsten with the gorilla. Why do you have life insurance? What made you go out there and get life insurance? What made you go out there and get life insurance? Family first. I love that. Family first, that's good. Anyone else? What made you want to go out there and get the life insurance? I've always heard that people want to get the life insurance because they want to have peace of mind for their family. People want to get look, my family won't focus on financial responsibility. I love that, Ms. King. How beautiful is that? So my family will not have, good family. Most people get life insurance because when they pass away, they don't want their loved ones having to worry about coming out of pocket to pay for someone's funeral. They do not want their loved ones having to be stuck paying the remaining house mortgage. They don't want their loved ones being stuck with any kind of miscellaneous bills. Most people are getting life insurance right now, from my perspective, because they want peace of mind. They want peace of mind. They want to make sure when my day comes, I leave my family better than what I left coming into it. Like, I believe that's one of the highest levels of impact, is saying that I'm going to leave this earth better than what it was before I came into it. I'm going to leave my last name with a legacy, with an inheritance. Because now they have an upper hand to something that I didn't have for myself. Maybe you did have for yourself. Good, Miss Bunny. So I can create generational wealth. Generational wealth. How beautiful is that? God, I think we forget, how beautiful is generational wealth? Wealth. The word wealth just sounds so good, doesn't it? Just add us wealth. So people are getting life insurance right now because they want to make sure they can build generational wealth. They want to make sure when that day comes for me, no one has to worry about nothing. They can just grieve properly. Now, some people have also had insurance before in the past, and they find out they have the wrong insurance. I was talking to someone last week. This is a tough story. I would feel bad for this gentleman, but we got it worked out. We come to find out his policy had his ex-wife name on there. Oh, yikes. That's not good. That's not good. I don't think no one wants their ex-wife getting $1 million in coverage paid out to them. So some people are like, Mike, I already have life insurance. Miss Adams, I'm just coming here to support you. No, you may also need to have a review of your policy. The folks that already have the insurance, those ones we need to actually talk to first. We need to be talked to first, because you're already paying for something. And the guy I told you last week, he said, Mike, honestly, I forgot to change that. Life was just happening, I just forgot to change that. And when someone passes away, you can't change it then, unfortunately. So we changed his policy to where the beneficiary is the right person now. And we also found out his policy was also a term policy, and he's at a certain age right now where it's about to end. So we needed to renew his policy or put him to a better position. He had no idea the next 2 years his policy was about to terminate. It was about to end. So we did a policy review on his wife, it was on him. We did a policy review on his new fiance. And his new fiance had a policy as well, but she had a policy that she got about 18 months ago, but she was in a waiting period. As in, when she passes today, the money, the coverage amount would not pay out to their family. She was in a waiting period. So, Mike, you know, I didn't open the policy booklet when I got it. So someone, I know Lois is laughing right now because some people, they buy life insurance and they never open up the policy booklet. They say, hey, the agent said this. So what I'm saying to you guys right now is that if you don't have any insurance, that's okay. But let's look into something that make sure your family's protected when you go. You already have insurance, even better. We may want to do a review of your policy because it doesn't hurt to make sure that your beneficiary is correct, your street address is correct, you have the right coverage amount, you have the right product for yourself, you're not in a waiting period, your policy. So there's different things we can look at to make sure that your policy is in the best position for it. Or just better yet, let's read through the fine print together to make sure you understand how your policy works. Don't just take what they told you on the phone. Let's make sure that what's in fine print is actually being what you think your policy is going to do for you when you're not here anymore. So if that all makes sense, put a 777 in the chat. So I'm going to now hop into something that I think is super important. I'm sure you guys all have heard of someone have cancer or a heart attack before or a stroke before, right? You know, those things are pretty common nowadays in our everyday lives. So we have policies nowadays where if you had a cancer or a heart attack, Mrs. Bundy or Ms. Kirsten, where the insurance company will pay out a large sum of money to you while you're living. You guys are too excited about that. I think that's a blessing. I think that's absolute. You don't think about this. Okay, so let's say I had a heart attack after this. I can't work anymore. And the job, you think they're going to keep paying you for a long time? They're going to probably pay me another year or two. But what about your mortgage? What about your cars? What about the children? So we have an insurance policy that you can get to where it's also protecting you while you're living. People say life insurance for the dead, but we say life insurance for the living and for the dead. So you had a cancer, heart attack, stroke, those different elements that we all know it can happen. God forbid. There's policies that will pay out a large sum, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to you while you're living so you can take care of your family and maintain your lifestyle. So we'll also be going over that today as well. Or Ms. Adams going over that with you on your one-on-one call with her. I want to kind of go over a few things with you guys about some of the companies that we work with, and I'll pass the call over to Lois here in a second. But, I'll be remiss if I not share you guys some of the companies that we work with, because we hear about Miss Apple. Give me share access if you don't mind, Miss Adams. You could make that a co-host or beautiful. There it is. You got it now. Thank you so much. So, you all get to see my screen here, okay? Here are some of the companies that we work with here. So we do work with some top companies like Mutual Home. We also work with some top carriers like Transamerica and Allstate and Aetna and AIG and Foresters and Liberty Bankers. These companies here that we work with, they've all been around for over 100 years. They all also have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And all these companies here, when you pass away, they will have no issues at all paying the money out to your loved ones. All these companies here, they specialize in different products, such as whole life insurance, term life insurance. So when you have a one-on-one call, Miss Adams, she's going to be pretty much going through our database of different carriers that we work with, and she's going to pretty much find you the lowest monthly rate with the most amount of coverage, the most amount of death benefit, and the most amount of living benefits for you at your age. So instead of you going out there as a client or going out there as someone who's looking to buy some insurance today, and let's say you call one company, get one quote. That's great. Miss Adams can actually shop around our database about 25 other life insurance companies. So like I said before, find you the best rates for yourself. It's kind of one of the pros of working with a broker like Miss Adams was that she gets to shop around and find you the best rates that fits your family needs. So we're not just biased to one, we're gonna find the best thing for you. So I want to go over one more thing here before I pass the call over to Lois. It's going to be the fact that, as you all know, most of you guys are looking to probably, pay off a mortgage, leave money behind for your loved ones. Or maybe it's like, hey, Mike, honestly, I have a mom and dad, I have an uncle or an auntie, and my concern is that if mom passes away, I know I'm the responsible one. I know if mom passes today, ain't no one's gonna pay for this funeral but me. Well, it's a blessing that everyone trusts you, but it's also to be a scare because the average American right now, according to Google, only has $5,000 in their savings account. And burials right now are costing between $10,000 to $15,000. And I know one person might be going to say, Mike, that's actually incorrect. It's about $20,000 nowadays, and I agree with you. So burials right now between $10,000 to $15,000 right now. And here's all the reasons why on my screen right here. So you may be someone in your 30s or 40s and 50s that like, well, Mike, I'm not too worried about paying for my funeral. And I get that. We have products that Lois will be going over here in a second that is going to be kind of targeting you. But once again, you may have a mother or father, a grandma or a grandpa that may need a policy specifically just to cover their funeral. So we have policies like that would cover just your funeral only. And the price of these policies on a monthly basis are very, very affordable. All of our policies are for folks that may be on a fixed income, and everyone that's on a fixed income right now are enrolling into these policies that we have for them left and right. So you may have a mom that wants to be buried. We can find her a policy for $15,000 in coverage, that will take care of all of her burial costs. Now you're probably wondering, Mike, when I talked to Miss Adams about this, my mom has cancer, she has diabetes, she has a heart attack. That's okay. They can have multitude of health conditions and we can still cover them. How beautiful is that? So it doesn't matter if they want to be buried or cremated, they may have a lot of health conditions, they may be on a fixed income. We have a product that will fit their needs. And one thing too, some insurance is better than no insurance. All right. So, Mike, I don't think I have enough money to buy a policy. I get you. That's okay. But I'm gonna recommend we just get you in the door with something that's better than nothing. So here are some of the benefits here on my screen here of one of our products called Whole Life Insurance. We use this product a lot when it comes to folks that want to just take care of their funeral only. We use this product also a lot for folks that just maybe want some coverage that is permanent. So here are some of the benefits on my screen here of a whole life insurance policy. It's one of our most popular products right now. It's going to be where it's permanent coverage that protects you for your whole life. So this whole life policy we have, it's locked in for your whole life. That means it never goes away. So you can live into an age like Moses, 120 years old, and sis, auntie, grandma, it will still be there for you. All right, it never goes away. All right, and then your monthly premiums, how beautiful is this? It never goes up. It's locked in, all right? It's locked in. And you're protected from the first day your policy is in effect. Your policy never expires, and your coverage can never be canceled out because of your age or your health changes. And with whole life insurance, it builds that famous thing you hear on social media right now, baking yourself life insurance, cash value. So yes, it's gonna build interest, and you can borrow from it if you wanted to. And with a lot of our policies we do, Miss Adams, I know she loves you, but she would not need to come to your house and come poke you with some needles, all right? No physical exams required. We can get you approved the same day we talk to you. And then you're gonna be happy, and you're gonna tell all your friends about how good Miss Adams did. You're gonna refer your whole entire family to her, and you're gonna keep building wealth through our people. Because I think it's our job as people to make sure that we're building wealth through our families, all right? So with that being said, I'm hoping that last 20 minutes brought some value to you all about why it's important to buy life insurance, why it's important to get on a call with Ms. Adams and see what we can do for you. I'm gonna now pass the call over to, thank you, Ms. King, I appreciate that. I'm gonna now pass the call over to Lois, and she's now gonna come in and go over how to build wealth. Now, I talk about wealth, but she's gonna talk about wealth, like capital W wealth, all right? So, and she is one of the best that I personally know. I've been in the industry for a long time. Our agency has over 50 agents we work with our agency right now. We have an office here in Columbus, Ohio, and I've talked to a lot of different agency owners in this business. I talked to a lot of them. The industry gets kind of small if you're in it for a long time. But Lois, I'm telling you, ladies and gents, she is one of the best that I personally know of, showing other people how to build wealth through life insurance. So if you're a young individual like myself, that is looking to build wealth and have different, and make your money work for you, in these next 20 or 30 minutes, she's going to show you how to make your money work for you. All right, so Lois, the floor is yours.
Wow. First of all, can we drop some hearts in the chat for Mr. Mike? Listen, that was a full masterclass. I don't even know how I'm going to follow up after him. So I want to say thank you so much for that amazing education. Are y'all enjoying yourselves tonight? Are you enjoying yourself tonight? So what I want to do is I want to just take a few moments of your time to really talk about wealth building. I mean, Mike has already kicked us off. Can everyone see me okay, by the way? If you can maybe spotlight me. Ciadra, Miss Adams, if possible, or make me a host. But you guys can, okay, y'all can see me. Okay, cool. Perfect. Maybe I just couldn't see myself. Really, really excited and honored. I want to first start by saying thank you so much to our host for even creating this room, girl. Your story that you shared about your best friend, I'm like, is she trying to make me cry? Why would she be trying to do this to me? So I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss, your condolences. I cannot imagine, and it was recent, June, just last year. I actually didn't even know that. Yeah. So I want to say thank you for sharing that, and thank you for, going back and pulling other people, because now you have a personal story. You have walked it, you have lived it. And for so many people, especially people who look like us in the Black and brown community, we think, well, let me not project. I used to think that insurance was a scam, y'all. Drop a one in the chat if you've ever seen that, you've heard that before. And here's the thing. I saw something by one of my good colleagues. Her name is Lindsay Smith, the agent on Instagram. She made this post, and she said, Black people think life insurance is a scam because we never received nothing. We don't have no stories. We don't know no cousin, no auntie who left us $100K. And so sometimes when you haven't experienced it, or when you don't know the person, or you haven't walked through those shoes, right, it's easy to be skeptical of things. And I think that's why it's so important that we have that representation. We have UCA pulling back to the community and saying, hey, listen, I just lost my friend. We were supposed to be the Golden Girls. We were supposed to bring in our 40th, and just like that, it is over. So I want to first say, thank you so much for sharing that and putting this room together. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into it, you guys. My name is Nurse Lois. I've been a nurse for 8 years. And if I'm honest, I never thought y'all would see me on no Zoom talking about some life insurance. This was never supposed to be the path for me. I was born and raised in Ghana, West Africa. I'm actually in Ghana right now. It's almost midnight. And I'm always up late, so don't even feel bad. You're always up late. So, but I never thought that I would, be doing what I'm doing now. And I also never thought that it would give me the fulfillment that it does. I'm sharing this picture because of two things. So I'm an ICU nurse by trade, right? And so we have if you're a nurse on this call, just put a 1 in the chat. You have, whether it's an ER, it's an ICU, it's a med-surg unit, you have clocked in to the hospital and you have been met with patients who thought it was just a heartburn. It was just a stomach ache. It was just this. It was just that. Now, all of a sudden, we got to rush them to emergency surgery. Yes or yes in the chat. Right? Patients who are in their 30s, 40s. Because here's the reality about life. Life comes at you very, very fast. I could be looking cute today. Y'all could be looking all cute. You went to church. You had on your Sunday outfit. We don't know what next week is going to look like. We don't get to know what September is going to look like. For us and for our families, I'm not here to make this a sad conversation, but these are the conversations that are not being had. And then when, God forbid, somebody gets a diagnosis, when, God forbid, you just in the bathroom checking yourself, and now we got a lump under our breast. Because I have a really good friend of mine, she had cancer in her early 30s. No family history. And so this conversation tonight is not you coming to support your girl, Miss Adams. This is that wake-up call, or even just that first call, that first conversation that we often put off, right? So I want you to write down, if you're taking notes, write down the 3 most important people to you in your life. Now, if you got a big family, you could do 10 or 8 or 5 or whatever you got to do, right? For some of you all, that might be your parents. Like for me, I'm such a daddy's girl, God forbid. I don't even like to think these things, honestly. And I don't even blame people when they want to dodge these conversations, right? My dad is extremely important to me. That man has sacrificed everything for us to even get to the U.S. I didn't grow up with money. Even when we got to the U.S., I had to go to a community college. I couldn't do the AKA Delta style. That wasn't even on the table for me. My parents have sacrificed so much. And I just said it on a call. Death, sickness, are one of those things that it doesn't matter who you are, what you got going on, it's going to take anybody out. And so if you are on this call and your parents don't have any whole life insurance, they don't have any traditional burial insurance, right? You all will be met with an opportunity to get on a free consultation call with Miss Adams, who's going to walk you through the different options. So that's the first thing. Depending on who you wrote down on your paper or your note sheet, right? If you're here, you're a mom, drop a 2 in the chat. Who's a mom? Who's a dad in the chat? Right? I would assume that your kids are very, very important to you, right? And so, like I mentioned, right, I didn't get to have the fancy, college experience and all the things. I used to want to be one of those kids when in history class we were learning about Rome, and they had this field trip where we could go to Italy and go to London. Y'all remember? Was it just my school where there was a chance where you could go do a study abroad, even for a week? Or there was a field trip, but it was going to be in Europe somewhere. See, those opportunities, I just knew not to bring that to my African parents. I just knew, listen, you're going to start a fight, just you bringing it up. But I so desperately, I remember, oh my God, I would love to go to Spain. I would love to go to Italy, and, I would love to go do 2 weeks. Those weren't options for me. And so I don't know what you were deprived of in your childhood. Maybe you wanted the car, and you saw other people do their Sweet 16 and get a car, and you just knew that wasn't even a conversation. Now is the time to start looking into whole life products for your children, so that when they do turn 18, they have $50K waiting on them, $20K waiting on them, right? So whether that's a spouse, whether that's a parent, you're a child, right? We get to be true generational curse breakers. That term floats around Instagram, Facebook all day long. But when are we actually gonna be the ones to make that change for our family? Next thing I wanna do, you all, I wanna do a quick exercise. We're gonna have a little fun in here. I want you all, I'm gonna drop a link in the chat, and I want you all to do this along with me, right? There's something called a FIN number. If you're taking down notes, you can write this down. There's something called a FIN number. This is your financial independence number, right? Full transparency, before I got into this industry, never even thought about what I need for retirement. It was never a thought, right? If you're in your 20s, 30s, even 40-year-olds, you're very young. Even 50, you're very young. So these are conversations that nobody really, it's kind of like, we'll worry about it later. We don't really care right now. I'm outside, I'm lit right now. And that's how it happens. But just like that first picture we showed you, we have patients all the time, 20s, 30s, 40s. One of the biggest mistakes you can ever make is to think you have all this time. And that goes for everything in life. When you, listen, I was an ICU nurse during New York COVID. I was one of the first crazy nurses during 2020 to volunteer and say, yes, I know all this is happening in New York City, but sign me up. I'll be right there in the morning. I have seen things that I cannot unsee. And so I think for me, mentally, I move with a sense of urgency with everything. Number one, I'm from a country that experienced a lot of poverty. There's still a lot of poverty in Ghana. They're trying to rebrand, but it's still, every day, even now that I'm home for Easter, when I go outside, I see kids look just like me. I'm no better, no special. And they don't even have slippers on their feet. They don't even have shoes. Like the basics. And so I already understand where I'm coming from, the opportunities that I was not privy to. I don't have time to wait. I'm not gonna assume that things are good today, that's how it's always gonna be good. And I want you all, if nothing else, you leave this call with a sense of urgency about your life, right? And so one of the things that I always hear is that proper planning prevents poor performance. Proper planning prevents poor performance. A lot of people, when they retire, they are at Walmart doing greeting. Nothing's wrong with that, right? If you ask them,
I don't know who that is.
You're from Caribbean,
No.
your parents kind of
see who it is
as they get older.
Just open the door.
One diagnosis, one emergency away from, now your kids are responsible for all of this. And guess what? Nobody.
Isn't somebody knocking?
When there's a funeral,
Open it.
when somebody passes away,
I don't know.
now we gotta do GoFundMe. Now we gotta go on Facebook. Now we gotta be begging our family members to donate and hit this link and do all of that. All those are still great. But this conversation today is where we get to.
No, I did not.
So I want you all to follow along with me. I want you to
Wrong house.
do it for your specific situation. You don't have to put any numbers in the chat. I did drop the link. This is a free tool that will calculate something called your financial.
Was it 4019?
Number. If you were to retire,
It was somebody else?
what is the dollar amount you need right now?
Oh, yeah, wrong house.
In order to be comfortably living in retirement. Americans really romanticize retirement, but for a lot of clients that I sit with, retirement is a nightmare. You talk to a lot of clients, they got like 10K in their 401k. How you got 10K in your 401k? We supposed to be retiring in 2 years. That is gonna last you 6 months. It's glamorized, but as a whole, the planning doesn't happen. We had to borrow from our 401k to start this investment, or to, pick us up when, life got tough. And the average American doesn't even retire with 100K in your 401k. Then that's gonna be taxed, and that's another story. So like, let's say right now, I'm gonna pretend that I have a client in front of me. Her name is Sally. Let's say Sally's 36 years young. Okay. Sally says, I want to retire. If I'm sitting down with Sally, she's like, oh, I want to retire at 60 realistically. I said, okay, cool, let's shoot for 60. So between now and 60 years old, Sally, you got 24 years to work, okay? Let's say she's making about $5,000 a month. And, we calculate her expenses. Her rent is $2,000. She got kids, so daycare is another $600. Car payments of $400. Let's say it costs her about $4,500 a month to run her household and go out to eat groceries, car note, all the things, insurance, right? The average American barely has $1,000 in their savings, so we gonna give her the $1,000, okay? Right now, inflation. This is actually incorrect, right? Unfortunately, it's a little bit higher. Right now, the national inflation rate is 2.6. And now with all these wars, y'all know, I was just complaining online about these flight prices because fuel, gas is expensive. So, gas is expensive. But it's costing more just to be alive. With every day you wake up, it's extra $50, I swear. So things are getting more and more expensive. 100K 20 years ago was like 250K. That's what this, or 260K if it's 2.6. When we talk about an inflation rate, eggs are very expensive. And so right now in 2026, if making 200K is rich, 24 years from now, when our client Sally is going to be 60, 200K is going to be like you making 120, which is still good. But that's just like, you can make more, but because of inflation, you're still where, you're still where you used to be before you got the promotion, before you started travel nursing, before whatever spike in your income you had, you're going to feel like it's about the same thing, right? And so that's what we're looking at. So a question I always ask my clients is, hey, based on your family history, right? My grandma passed away in her 80s, right? I never knew my grandpa on either side, so I don't even think my mom knows. That's some family stuff. But even if you were to assess yourself and your family, right? At what age did grandma live in? So grandpa, right? As I'm doing this, you remember y'all are doing it with me, right? You'll put so like let's say our client, she's they live pretty long. Okay, so she has until 90, give or take. Her mom lived a long life, yada yada. So okay, cool. Miss Sally, if you want to retire at age 60, you got 24 between now and 60. You have 24 years. To make a lot of money, right? You're making $5K a month, right? But if we calculate expenses, rent, food, childcare, insurance, all the things, grocery, all that stuff, $4,500, you're really left with like $500 comfortably, give or take, right? So one thing I would tell her is, number one, we need to find a way to increase your income, right? So maybe if she's a nurse or if she's doing something else, where inside of your field can we make more money, right? Or maybe this is a great opportunity for our client to learn a new skill set to supplement that income. I mean, in this economy, I feel like everybody should have two things minimum that they got going on, because everything is just so expensive. So that would be my first question for her. And then as we're going through the spin number, I'll say, okay, cool. You got until 90, which sounds great, right? You're gonna live a long, beautiful life. However, you are going to spend 30 years. If you retire at 60 and you don't pass away till 90, right? It sounds great because you're gonna live all this long, but 30 years, like things are not gonna pay for themselves. And so the longer you plan on living, the more money you need to have, right? And so based on her current amount that she's making monthly, right? She's gonna need to have, this is what you would call her FIN number, right? And this is actually being very conservative. She would need to have over $2.4 million, not, net worth. This is what she would need to have liquid. If she wanted to say, hey, I want to retire right now, right? What is the cost for you quitting your job right now? It would be 2.4. And so for you all, as you're going through calculating for yourself, that number, oftentimes when I sit down with clients, it's like, wow, whoa, like how am I gonna make this happen? And so let me even break it down a little bit easier for you. I really love this tool. 2.4 million sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. But here's where it gets really scary. You don't need to make $43,000 a year. You need to save $43,000 a year. If our client is making $5,000 a month times 12 months, she's making about $60K a month. And this is, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. We saying net, okay? We saying net, right? How are you going to be making $60,000 a year and have any bandwidth to save, not make, to save $43,000? And so this is why over 95% of Americans are retiring broke. I'm gonna say it again. Over 95% of Americans are retiring broke. They're not retiring okay, they're retiring broke. Because retirement is supposed to be a time where you go on vacation, you doing the cruises and all. And on Instagram, that's how maybe some accounts are living. But in real life, the average American is retiring broke. The average American is a burden to their daughter. Yeah, you might be on the call, you're the nurse, and you love your parents, but you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have your own family. You're gonna have your own things, maybe your, God forbid, child gets sick, you got your own stress. Jobs stressing you out, you got your own stuff. And then now, parents are now a burden. You're now a burden because you never planned. We dodged every life insurance conversation. We thought everything, we went our whole life and thought everything was a scam. And the real scam was, I'm not gonna call it a scam, something is better than nothing. But a retirement plan when you can't even pull out the money until you're 59 and a half. And when you do pull out the money, if you, God forbid you do it before, or you gotta pay fees and penalties, and then even if you're a great girl, you're a great guy, you wait, you're gonna be taxed heavily on that stuff. Right, they're giving you a 3% match. It's cool, it's better than nothing. This is not going to be enough to retire and live the retirement you want to live. I'm also a big advocate of living your best retirement life now. Now that you got your good knees, now that you're gonna go in the water and put on a little bikini, right? Why do we have to wait until 60 to enjoy? Who even said you're gonna make it to 60? I'm not being morbid, I'm just being real. Y'all, it's the ICU in me. I've seen a lot. Who said you're gonna see 60? Why are we postponing living our life and being happy and being present with our kids? Your kid can go to Italy for the summer at 16, the field trip or whatever they got going on. And you as mom and you as dad, you get to plan. You get to prepare now. So that they don't have to go their entire life. Oh my God, I would really love to go see the Colosseum in Rome. Mom sat down with Miss Adams. And mom realized, oh my God, a children's policy is like $5 a month, $10 a month, depending on the age of your child. Oh, wow. Can I be honest with you all? A lot of life insurance agents, we don't really love to do, well, let me speak for me. I don't really love to do children's whole life policies because it's too cheap. It's like, we going to get paid $2 because it's too cheap. But nobody ever told us that, hey, for a Starbucks coffee, for your Starbucks order a month, you can set up your child $20,000, and your child can use that to go on all the field trips, all the study abroads, get a car, you know, so that they can get to their first job. My first job, I worked at a grocery store called Publix. You know, nobody set nothing up for me. There was no 5K waiting on me. I didn't have those options. My first job, Publix, I was working as a bagger, and then I got a promotion to be a cashier, and then I was the customer service clerk. It was close enough to our house. I walked to my job, and I had to make what, $7, $8 an hour, and save up money, and I was able to buy my first car. Now the first car was about like $3-4 grand on Facebook, somewhere my dad found it, but I mean, I learned some valuable lessons, so I'm not mad at it, but it really would have been nice if somebody would have planned, and we could have jump started. I could have met mom halfway because there was something. So wherever you are in life, maybe this conversation is more applicable for you and your family, your spouse, your kids. If you are a parent on this call, it is irresponsible for you to not have a policy.
I think Lois froze. Can y'all still hear her?
No. Recording in progress.
It tried to take me out.
Yeah, it did.
Like Mike, listen, the devil was busy. I was spitting too much. The devil said, hold on. Like Mike mentioned so well on the call, you guys. In all seriousness, right? All these things that we've talked about is great. But the bottom line is, what about you though? Like your kids are cool, your spouse, your parents. Life insurance is not for when somebody passes away. It is for you now. It is a wealth building tool. We have products that I don't even consider them life insurance. We have financial products. That old job that you used to work at, right? Like, let me talk about me. I worked at Publix for 4 years straight. And then when I was in nursing school, I became a home health care aide. I was like a caregiver. I had a patient, Mr. Phil, he had dementia. And so, but I didn't know that I was contributing. I knew I was contributing to my 401k. But I didn't know that when I left Publix after 4.5 years, I still have money in that 401k. And guess what? Publix is not going to give me a call and say, hey, I know you were contributing to this 401k for 4 years in a row. And my African parents, they made sure I maxed it out. They're not going to give me a call and tell me, hey, girl, you know you got 20K that you have acquired over the last 4 years. Nobody's giving you that call. I speak with nurses all the time. They worked a staff job for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, and then they started doing travel nursing. They started doing PRN nursing. And they forget that, hey, girl, you got like 80K in your 401k. You think your job is going to be hounding you to come get your 80K? They're not calling you. And so outside of you making sure that your family is good, we want to make sure you are good. We want to make sure that you haven't left any money on the table. What's really awesome about an old 401k rollover is it costs you nothing. It costs nothing for the client, right? We help clients find the money. There's a amazing platform. I'm going to give you all this one. You can play around with it. You know, there's an amazing platform called Beagle where you can actually track down old 401ks. I don't care if you felt like you worked at McDonald's and ain't nothing in that 401k. You could do something with $5,000. And so what we do is we help clients find the money, right? You know, clients always say, I don't have money for life insurance. Okay, I'm sure you've had a job that you, even if you were there 6 months, you contributed something. Right now, our minimum rollover is $5,000. I'm going to say that up front, right? But people are always surprised. Oh, I did work there. It was just a quick year, but I did work there. Yeah. So we, outside of making sure you and your family are good, we help you find the money that you forgot about. And then we help you make sure that you don't lose that money, right? Last and final thing when it comes to wealth building, right, is about protecting your money and making sure you have the proper structure. If you're anything like me, when I heard people talk about having a will and a trust, I thought that was like, I was like, rich people talk. I was like, people who don't like, I don't know nobody. I didn't know nobody. And that looked like me. That was in the trust, having a trust conversation. I thought it was far-fetched. I thought you had to have all these millions of dollars before you can start talking about a trust. What if I told you that that is not true? What if I told you that it is very important that you have a will? And I'm not talking about just the advanced directives that they hit you with at the hospital, right? But something that is on paper, documented, an attorney has looked it over, right? Let me share this very, very quickly, very briefly, right? Why does having these things in place, why does it matter? Your assets can be transferred directly to your beneficiaries. Whoever you list as your beneficiary, you don't got to go through court and family drama. And mom said this was my house and the land was mine and that's my jewelry box. Like everything is now like in order. You're running your life like a system. You're running your life like a household. You don't need to be a multimillionaire for this. You don't need to even have six figures for anybody. And that's gate caps. Anybody can have a living will. We are a partner, like Mike said, we work with over 20 different A-rated companies. So we're not biased. We're not like, write it with Geico, write it. Like, it's about what you want. We are partnered with one company that automatically will give you a complimentary living trust and a free will, complimentary with any policy. This is through an attorney. So we are matched with multiple attorneys all over the USA. They match you with them, right? Now, this carrier is kind of tough to get approved for, so you got to be in decent health. But if you're not in decent health, we got other carriers that approve anything, like Mike mentioned, right? A trust doesn't need to become public record. So if you have a business that you want to pass down, right? You don't want everybody and their mom knowing, it's now private, right? You are able to use this to handle assets according to your wishes. Who's your favorite child? You don't got to tell us on the call. But you can put that in the will and the living trust and all that. You can maybe you own a house right now. You have property, right? You can literally, and even one of my favorite things about a will is you can also make instructions for it. So it's not just, when mommy passes away, child gets this. Hey, you might need to finish college first. At least give me 2 years, get your associates. You get to have a system. You get to run it like a real system, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. I know I'm tight on time. I went super over, but I want you all to know that there's so much that you can do when it comes to wealth building, and it doesn't need to be expensive, right? It doesn't need to be taboo. It doesn't need to be anything that, kind of gives you bad vibes. It should actually empower you to know that, wow, what started off as just a webinar now snowballed into now you got to live in will, you got to trust, you got assets, right? So I want to say again, thank you all for joining. My invitation to you now, if you're still on the call, my invitation to you now is we are going to be gifting you all a complimentary one-on-one consultation call, right? On that one-on-one consultation call, if you already have something in place and you want us to look at it, we're happy to do it. One thing I always tell my clients is that when a client comes to me and they already have a great
It looks like she froze again. Can y'all still hear me? Thumbs up. I see your thumbs up. Well, I put my I put my Calendly link
Recording stopped.
in the chat. So that's the link she was talking about. If anyone is
Recording in progress.
I think she's back.
It's
that Ghana internet.
It is that Ghana internet. But yeah, all I was gonna say is we want to invite you all to a complimentary one-on-one strategy call. So I'll let Ciadra, our host, go over that. But I really want to urge you all, once you all have the opportunity, I actually have the link right here. I want you all to schedule your time, right? It's going to cost you $0, and you are going to leave with so much from it. So you all will turn your attention to the chat. That you're going to see a link that will take you to a wealth building consultation that is complimentary to you. You will be met with Ciadra and any of our coaches as well. You might get 2 on the call. You might get 1. You never know who you're going to get. But you will be with a trusted, licensed financial professional who will be here one to help you on your journey.
I'm laughing at my brother because he said who? Because you're saying my name's Ciadra and it's Cedra. But Lois is just like grandma. Like, grandma is my grandma, so she's known me my entire life, but she always called me Sidra. So I just answer her.
Sidra, oh my God.
It's all good. Let me put this in the chat again. I think Lois is... Yes, no, you're froze. You're froze. I put my Calendly in the chat again. If you want to book a call, you're free to book it. Please, please, please drop some fire in the chat for Nurse Lois and Mike for coming and talking to us. It was so good. And Mike doesn't do this, so y'all are special. Y'all are very, very special. But I appreciate you taking the time to be on the call. I appreciate you for supporting me. And yeah, book a call if you want to move forward. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Recording stopped.